Hey, this is Ishar, and today I'll be talking to you about the paradigms found in high, medium, and low energy states. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that natural well being and happiness and being connected with source energy is naturally found within us, but we can be far removed from it. And this is what I'd refer to as low vibration or energy states, or you can be closer to this, which we'll refer to as high energy states. And I'll be describing some of the general mindsets, paradigms, and states of being from each of these energy levels. So it can be helpful to understand this as a pointer to see where you're at on your journey. So let's talk about high energy or high vibration states. So this is where you are more aligned to your natural way of being and source energy. So generally speaking, you feel that you're more connected with everything around you. We call this unity or oneness. There is a lot of calm in your life and ease of being. Things are generally simple and uplifting in your life. And on the other hand, when you have a lot of separation from this energy field, we can say that this is a low vibration state where the name of the game is separation. So there's a lot of difficulties experienced here, alienation, stress, chaos. And keep in mind that these conditions can be reversed. It does take a bit of intentional effort and also awareness to realize this. But oftentimes we don't realize how far we are separated from our natural source just to conditioning all around us, the society we are brought up with, the values we have, different traumatic experiences that we may go through. So this may create this veil over our natural well-being. So it's good to recognize these things. So in a low vibration state, there tends to be a heaviness of mind and body. In the yogic system, this energy is categorized as tamas energy. So it tends to be dull, inert, and a feeling of heaviness, sluggishness, and a lot of ignorance here. So unwise views. And there may be an experience of having a tough time getting through the day. Things are going by very slowly. There may be a lot of angst and separation from those around you. And because there isn't enough personal energy within, a person occupying this headspace will give off a feeling tone of taking. So as a result, other people may feel drained in their presence, and generally more stimulus is needed from the world to stay a bit engaged. So there's a lack of vitality within, so they try to seek it outside. So typically addictions are also common in this energy field, and there can be a lot of rumination of the past, a lot of unprocessed grief and sadness. And having spent a lot of time in these states, it can be very difficult because it is like falling further into a pit. The further you fall down this pit, it can be harder to crawl up and see the light. And if you go too far down, you may give up completely. So this is where apathy comes in. And in the state is like a negative feedback loop or downward spiral. So the actions taken from someone in the state tend to be negative or unwholesome. And as a result, life mirrors these negative effects back at you. So in this state, a lot of force is required to get things done because there's not enough energy. However, aggressive intervention of doing the internal work and clearing and also seeking help if needed and taking care of basic needs and creating a system of an healthy environment. But realize that everything is much harder in this state of being, but you just have to do it. So you may try to eat clean or read a book or try to meditate, but your brain is not properly working, so it's really hard to focus. But it's okay, just take small steps and work with what you have. Now, when you start to clear away all the unwholesome things in your life and start to gain a bit more energy and momentum through your positive habits and reframes and clearing away past blockages, you start to move closer to your natural source energy and you just feel a bit lighter. So the heaviness of life starts to disappear just a bit. And you may find that in this new paradigm of state of being, you now have increased energy to accomplish tasks. You also tap into a personal power and also this quality of proactivity. So whereas before you were reactive to life. And from a yogic chakra perspective, in the lower levels of energy, you may be focused on the first chakra of survival or second chakra of different needs and creativity. And usually this is unmet needs and addictions, so an unhealthy version of this energy. However, here you start to move into the third chakra, the Manipura chakra, of personal will, strength, setting goals. So you can see a lot of my older videos where I start to talk about manifestation, goal setting, INFP videos. So a lot of these moving forward in life and self-help type videos tend to fall in this category. And this energy field is correlated with the yogic energy of rajas. So this is activity. And one drawback, though, of this is that you see that in the state, the mind is always restless. So it tends to be irritated. It's always wanting to do something, and it can't just be as it is. So there's a lot of doing energy, but you lack the being quality. So there's a frenetic quality to your mind. And to go from this mid state of energy to the higher states of being, which is simply just more aligned to natural source, this comes from letting go more. So letting go of that hyperactivity. And in this mid level of energy, this is the energy level with the most complexities. So there needs to be a return back into simplicity. So when I first started my journey into these topics like meditation, personal growth, all that, I would hear various spiritual teachers saying things like, oh, things are very easy, simple, let go. You are already here. And I'd be like, huh? That makes no sense. And you can also see in my older videos, I refuse to believe this because I overanalyze everything to death. But really, when you start to tap into these higher vibration states, you start to become more connected to everything around you. There's more of a unity. There's more of a relaxation process of letting go. We may think from lower states of being or mid levels energy that high vibration states is some magical state. And I'm sure I definitely talked about that a few years ago. However, and yes, there's some element of if your meditation practice starts to grow, you can play around with very powerful concentration states. But really, on the surface, your life becomes simpler, you let go more, and there isn't much complexities there. And you prefer actually a simpler life than a very demanding life. And here in these high vibration states, this is really just a state in which you've let go of your attachments, your fixations, preoccupations with certain things in the world, and of past and future. And you are simply just present in the moment, because where else would you be? And all these high vibration states just point to is being happy right now. So there's nowhere to go or be. You can just be right here. And if you think about it, think of some high vibration states. These are gratitude, love, joy, and peace. So these qualities don't require you to be anywhere else other than here. When you're grateful, you are being grateful for what you have, already have. So rather than having this frenetic energy of trying to get things and having a lot of desires, you are contented with what you already have. So there's nothing added. So the general mindset of high vibration states is actually letting go, simplifying, decluttering the mind and your external space rather than adding more, which is a trap of the mid levels of energy. And because there's tons of energy within, you'll find that you need less from the external world. So this is the opposite of being very disconnected. And you'll practically learn, if you have a meditation practice already, that you can experience a lot of bliss from within. And if you find a source of pleasure from your meditation practice, then this can change your orientation of where you get your source of pleasure. So rather than seeking it from the world and through the senses, you can find a source within. So you can see how the paradigms and general mindsets of each of these energy levels change. You go from the low vibration states of constantly wanting things and not having it to a place of doing and personal power. But eventually that lets go of, and you can just be as is. And since the present moment is all we have, let's just enjoy it. And I just wanted to reiterate the point again that when you're in these lower energy level states, you think that high vibration states are very magical, a lot of magical thinking, and all powerful. But while this can be a byproduct of your practice, really this mindset is being in a place of humility, being happy with little, being grateful for things you already have, and being harmonious with your fellow human beings and the world around you. And yet, if you're caught in the world that's going crazy all around you with anger and ambition and fear and greed, the occupation with image and status, occupying the state can actually feel different. But really, it's not crazy different. It's actually a state of being normal. And everyone around caught in these mental states are far removed from the normal and natural states. So high vibration states are actually the default, but we get conditioned out of it. So when you do experience these high vibration states, many meditation teachers will say that it's kind of like waking up from a dream or an illusionary world where you had a life before where your attention was very much fixated on various things around you that distracted you from this natural state of being. But the mind is actually naturally very peaceful, and we often get in our own ways due to conditioning and unwise attention and other factors, so we lose this quality. So I like to think of this energy state as the energy level of being an unassuming, loving grandma, grandpa energy. So it's not a hyperactive success coach energy, but it's actually just a very peaceful and satisfied way of life and way of being. So there's a lot of peace in this state of being, and you have a good relationship with life all around you. Now, one of the big takeaways, and something you may realize this on your journey, is that you'll start to see that when your mental state changes from going from a very separated and what we call low vibration state to a high vibration state, which is just more connected to your natural way of being, you'll see that your experience of the world actually changes. So the world goes from a very stressful, chaotic, scary place to a kind and friendly place. But did the world actually change? No, you did it. Because as a result of focusing on more positive and wholesome things and actually changing your viewpoints and your external situations if needed, but also doing the inner work of clearing, you'll find that the world also reflects that back to you. So life is like a mirror. And if you do change your attention, your overall mental states, and everything around you, you find that life can also change to that in your experience of life. So ultimately, these high vibration states of being can be experienced by anyone, and it just takes this shifting of your mental states to include more of these positive qualities, more of these wholesome qualities. Continue to practice meditation of letting go, of surrounding yourself with wholesome and positive community. And if you tend to be in low vibration states, then it may be beneficial to also include the middle levels of energy to first create this platform where you can create a foundation to then let go. Because if you let go a little bit too early without having a proper foundation, then you may slide back into unwholesome and negative states. So it is a journey in your path, but I hope it brings you more peace and love and happiness as you continue to walk this path.